All right, folks, your next comic, give it over Mr. Michael Deo.
Gotta do some housekeeping up here 1 second. So back in high school, the worst part about basketball practice was when we'd have to play shirts versus skins. Because it took me weeks to make a jersey out of human skin. I could never get the colors to match either. Now, I used to get bullied a lot by kids, which is really fucking annoying when you're 39 years old. I'm not a religious person, no. The only invisible force that will let me down is gravity. It was gravity. So I've had depression my whole life. The first time I opened up my eyes, I took a look around and I thought to myself, wah, wah, wah!
Same.
Because I was a newborn and had no language comprehension. And that made me sad. Now, the worst part about depression is that moment when you get super fucking horny. You're already sad, you can't move, and now your hormones are taunting you. It's like you're handcuffed and helpless, but without the orgasms. Orgasms. The first time I bought condoms was super anxiety-inducing. By the time I built up my courage, they had already disintegrated. No, this one time I was at the grocery store and I was buying condoms, and I got that old lady cashier who likes to comment on every item you're buying. Oh, chocolate bars! I think you've had enough of these, fatty. Oh. Eggs in this economy? Condoms, huh? Somebody's a little too old to finally lose their virginity. Oh, I hate visiting my grandma at work. But nowadays, you can get condoms without human interaction, thanks to self-checkout. But I still like to hide them in the shopping cart, cover them up with inconspicuous items, toilet paper, bags of chips, 25 rotisserie chickens. So next time you're at the grocery store and they're out of rotisserie chicken, you know what that means. Michael's gonna get some. Hell, you could be in the middle of getting down and dirty and still get condoms thanks to DoorDash. Now, depending on traffic, that means about 30 to 40 more minutes of foreplay. Or in my case, 3 minutes of foreplay, crying profusely and apologizing, and then looking up DoorDash's return policy. DoorDash. My driver's outside. So if you're in marketing, I highly recommend proofreading. Because you don't want your poster for the jazz festival to come out saying Jizz Festival. Because then you've got a very sticky situation on your hands. They're two very different events. Jazz Festival, woo, Jizz Festival, ah! Watch out. Jizz. I'm at that age now where I only sound slightly like a douchebag when I say back in my day. It's back in my day. Back in my day, we had to work hard if we wanted to see porn. Perverts today, they got everything they need in the palm of their hands. On their phones, right? Gone are the days of sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night, finding that 24-hour porn store, parking 3 blocks away so nobody recognizes your car, and then the inevitable debate with the other perverts about which magazine gives you more bang for your buck. You got your Playboy, you got your Penthouse, or you got my favorite, Humongous Jugs Quarterly. It's bigger when it's 4 times a year. It's kind of weird for me being the millennial son of immigrants. I'm always telling my family things like, go back to your country! But also, pay my rent! No, I don't understand my family's references. They're always saying things like, oh, I'm from a third world country, we struggle to survive. Yeah, well, I grew up with dial-up internet, okay? We've all suffered. When I was 7, I told my family I wanted to play hockey. Now, Canadian parents, they'd be like, you're already too old, you're not going to make it professionally, you just give up on your life. My family was like, oh, hockey, that's a very violent sport. You need to learn how to defend yourself. First, you must get a black belt in karate. So 7 years later, I show up to my first hockey game, got my black belt tied around my jersey so people knew not to fuck with me. The referees, though, they were not impressed, especially when I tried to roundhouse kick the goalie. I got 5 minutes for kung fu fighting. Every year my family celebrates Christmas, but I didn't realize until I was 12 that Christmas is a Christian holiday. We're not Christian. I'm not a part of the Jesus team thing. What if Santa finds out? I got this gravy train that brings me free gifts every year. Oh. And then that year, Santa gave me a Bible, the address to the local Catholic church, and altar boy robes. And that's when I stopped believing in Santa. Thank you very much.